Very good morning. Today I'll discuss the vector analysis. It is the very important in the electromagnetic field theory. So we will learn the basics of vector arithmetic operation and vector analysis. So some numericals and some mathematical exercise I'll do in this lecture. I'll solve some numericals and some examples through which you will be able to understand the vector calculus. Before going to start, you all recall in your memory about the vector calculus. The content of this video lecture. Through this video lecture, I will cover the topics, that is vector analysis, vector arithmetic operations, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, unit vectors, dot product, cross products, and some properties of the dot products and the cross products. The objective of this lecture is to understand the basic phenomena of the vector analysis, vector calculus. Student will be learn the vector arithmetic, how to perform the simple vector arithmetic operations, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division also. And after this, the cross product of the vector quantities. In this dot product and cross product, student will also learn the associative properties of the dot product and cross products, distributive property of the dot product and cross product, and one more property, that is the commutative properties of the dot product and cross product. A part of this topic or learning objective, student will also learn the unit vector. Unit vector has a very important role in the vector calculus, and to design in the EM wave model, so we have to learn the unit vector also. These are the basic outcomes of this lecture. After watching this video lecture, student will be able to handle the important practical problems in the vector analysis. They are able to solve the vector arithmetic operations and simple operations. Student will learn the arithmetic operation of the vector quantities, and they are able to solve the dot product and the cross product of the vectors. They are able to solve the unit vectors, and after some practice, a student will learn the simple problem, and they are able to solve the problem on vector calculus. This is the reference book for the subject electromagnetic field theory, that is Principle of the Electromagnetic, fourth edition by Matthew N. O. Saduki. This book was published by the Tata McGraw-Hill. So you can borrow the book from the library, as well as you can purchase this book by online or by market, because this book is very good book to understand the basic concept of electromagnetic field theory. Now I am come to the topic, that is vector analysis. Everyone know the vector calculus, vector analysis. In the first year engineering mathematics, you already studied the vector calculus. Through this course, vector calculus or engineering mathematics, you are able to solve the scalar and vector quantities, and dot product, cross product. They are you are easily understand the basic concept of vectors. The quantities that deal in the electromagnetic theory may be either scalar or vectors. Understand? In electromagnetic field theory, we are only deal the scalar and vector quantities. All quantities are vector or scalar, either vector or scalar. The scalars are the quantities characterized by the magnitude only and algebraic sign. Means scalar quantity is only applicable to define the magnitude only, and it is describe the sign of the quantity. A quantity that has the direction as well as the magnitude is called a vector. Next term is the vector. Vector is the quantity which has some direction, which shows the direction of the quantity, and as well as it shows the magnitude of the quantity, is called the vector. So there is the difference between the vector and the scalar quantities. Scalar quantity is always a magnitude with the sign, and but vector is not a only the magnitude. It also defines the direction of the quantities or the vector, where the vector is moved, or forward direction, negative direction, or backward direction. Both scalar and the vector quantities are the function of the time or position. Means both quantities, that is the scalar quantities and the vector quantities, are the function of the time and position. So time and position is the independent variable. A field is a function that specifies a particular quantity everywhere in a region, depending upon the nature of the quantity under the consideration. The field may be a vector or scalar field. Example of the scalar field is the electrical potential in a region, while the electric or magnetic fields at any point is the example of vector field. Now we have vector analysis. A vector can be written as A equal to the AA, where A is the magnitude, is represented by the magnitude of or mode of A, and small a is the unit vector. It is denoted as a unit vector. And it is denoted by the A upon mode of A. So vector can be defined in the terms of unit vector with some magnitude. which has the unit magnitude and the same direction as that of A. A scalar has magnitude. We already discussed the scalar has only the magnitude with this sign, but vector has magnitude as well as the direction. So scalar quantities are mass, time, temperature, charge. These are the scalar quantities in our electromagnetic field theory system. And a vector has a magnitude, its length, and its direction. Example of the vector is the velocity, force, momentum, field strength. These are the example of vectors. So right now we have discussed the two quantities in the vector analysis system. One is the scalar quantities and second one is the vector quantities. Both quantity have the function of time and space. In the next section, we have a vector arithmetic operation. Arithmetic operation by starting with the addition of the vectors of two vectors. We are now using the addition operation of two vectors. The addition of the two vector results in the another vector which denotes as C. Therefore, A plus B equal to the C. The magnitude and the direction of the C is determined by head to tail rule. It has many applications in the physics. Vector addition is the simple addition which is performed as a addition, and there is no hidden trial method. It is only the vector quantities additions. So this will produce the magnitude as well as the direction. So C has the magnitude as well as direction because C is the resultant vector of summation of the two vector A and B. Some important properties of the vector addition, as we have already discussed, that the commutative and associative property of vector operations will be discussed in the next coming slide. So this is the first arithmetic operation with some properties. Vector addition is the commutative. That is A plus B equal to the B plus A. So it is known as commutative property. Vector addition is associative. X plus Y plus Z is equal to X plus Y plus Z equal to K. This is the addition is associative. From these two properties, the addition of the several vector can be executed in any order. So these property is very important to add the multiple vectors or several vectors. So this is the property. So vector addition is commutative and associative. This is the figures which is showing that the addition of the two vectors, that is the A plus B, that is figure 1.3 shows that the A plus B, and figure 1.4 shows that the A minus B. Because it is in the opposite direction, or the magnitude of the vector B is negative. So it is written as A minus B because it is arithmetic operation. Next is the vector subtractions, the addition of a negative vector as a subtraction. Means if there is the negative sign of any vector in the magnitude, then there will be a subtraction. In the previous slide, I have already shown this is the subtraction because of the magnitude of the vector B is negative. Vector subtraction is the similarly carried out, that is D is equal to the resultant vector of the two vectors which is subtracted, that is A minus B, and it is written as the A plus in the bracket minus B. So this is the vector subtractions concept. In the next section, we have the multiplication of the vector, how the unit vector or vector quantity is multiplied. Consider a scalar quantity A and a vector quantity B. The multiplication of these two values as shown here, that is A is the scalar quantity, B is vector quantity. So the multiplication of these two quantity is always a vector quantity. So the product of the scalar and a vector is a vector. So C is the vector quantity. The resulting vector C has a magnitude that is the equal to the A times the magnitude of B, where the small a is shown as scalar quantity. The direction of the vector C is the exactly that of the vector B. So this is the multiplication of vector analysis, how the any scalar quantity is multiplied with the vector quantity, and what are the directions of the vector resultant vectors, and how the magnitude is changed in the result. Now some important properties of vector multiplication. Multiplying a vector by a scalar changes the magnitude of the vector but not its direction. The scalar vector multiplication is the distributive, that is A is our scalar quantity and B is our vector quantity. So A plus B, AB plus BB equal to the A plus B bracket close. B is the common because B is the common in the both cases, addition of the two component. So it is known as distributive property. Also explain distributive properties as in the next section, that is the AB plus AC equal to the A bracket B plus C, because the A is a common and A is a scalar quantity and B and C is vector quantity. So in the distribution property or distributive property, we can write in the both way. Both way are correct. Second property of the multiplication, that is the scalar vector multiplication, is also commutative. That is, commutative is the AB is equal to the BA. This is our commutative. So multiplication has two properties, that is the distributive properties and the commutative property. And in the next section we have that multiplication of a vector by a negative scalar is interpreted as minus a b equal to the a bracket minus b. So if scalar is the negative, then the changes in the vector direction, because we know that the vector shows the direction. Scalar does not show any direction, it produces only magnitude. Division of a vector by a scalar is the same as the multiplying the vector by the inverse of scalar, that is b upon a equal to the 1 upon a into b. So in the case of the division, when we divide the scalar vector quantity by some scalar quantity, so there will be the multiplication of 1 upon a by the vector quantity. Unit vector, divide vector a by its magnitude, a scalar value, a new vector is formed, which is denoted by that a upon magnitude of a. So AA is the vector. The vector AA has the same direction as the vector A. The vector A has a magnitude equal to the one such vector is known as unit vector. Means the new vector form has same direction of the vector A, and it is known as unit vector. A unit vector is essentially a description of the direction only. As its magnitude is always unit valued, that is equal to the 1, therefore the mode of A is a scalar value that describes the magnitude of the vector A. A is a vector that describes the direction of A. So the new unit vector is define only the direction of the vector, and the direction of this vector is the same as the A, because its magnitude has always 1. That's why it's known as unit vector. Now we have dot product of two quantities. The dot product of the two vectors, that is A and B, is denoted as A dot B. It is written as A dot B is equal to the mode of A into mode of B into cos theta AB, means angle between the vector A and B. Angle A and theta A and B is the angle formed between the vectors A and B. The value of the angle theta varies from 0 to pi. Important note, the dot product is an operation involving the two vectors, but the result is a scalar. Here, this is the important note. The dot product is an operation involving the two vectors. Always, dot product is the dealing with the vectors, and it is the product of two vectors, and the result of these two vector production is always scalar quantity. So A dot B is equal to the C. The dot product is also called the scalar product of two vectors. Clear? It is a scalar product of the two vectors because the vectors producing the dot product, so the output of these two dot product, these two vectors by using dot product is always scalar. So that's why it is known as the scalar product of the two vectors. Note also that the dot product is commutative. It is commutative, that is A dot B equal to the B dot A. The dot product of a vector with itself is equal to the magnitude of the vector squared. The dot product of a vector with itself is equal to the magnitude of the vector squared. How it is possible? We can understand from this equation that is shown in the slide, that is A dot A, the vector, that is same vector producing the dot product. In this dot product we are using the same vector, so the angle in this vector is theta is equal to 0. So cos theta is equal to will be the square of vector, and it will be scalar quantity. If A dot B is equal to the 0 and A equal to the 0, B equal to the 0, then it must be the true that theta AB is equal to the 90 degree. Because in the case of the 90 degree angle, the cos 90 is equal to the 0, so the A dot B is equal to the 0. If A dot B is equal to the mod of A and B, then it must be true that theta AB is equal to the 0 degree. So you also learned these three methodology or three concept of the angle. When theta is equal to the 0 degree, then there will be the A dot B and AB. When theta is equal to the 90 degree, then A dot B is equal to the 0 degree or 0. When A dot A is equal to the with vector is multiplied by itself, then there will be the square of same vector. If A dot B is equal to the if A dot B is equal to the minus mod of A mod of B, then it must be true that theta AB is equal to the 180 degree, because the dot product of two vector quantity is producing the result with the negative sign. So in this case, the angle will be 180 degree. The dot product is the distributive with the addition such that A bracket B plus C equal to the AB plus AC. The dot product is the distributive. Next is the cross product of the vectors. The cross product of the two vectors A and D is denoted as AB A cross B is equal to the AN mod of A mod of B sine theta AB, where the angle theta lies between 0 to pi. Just as with the dot product, the angle is the angle between the vector A and B. Theta angle is defined angle between A and B. The unit vector AN is orthogonal to the both A and B. The unit vector AN is the orthogonal to the both A and B. That is A dot A is equal to the 0, A dot B is equal to the 0. Important note, the cross product is an operating involving the two vectors, and the result is also a vector. That is A cross B equal to the C. In case of the dot product, when we producing the dot product of the two vectors, the result will be scalar quantity. But in this cross product, if we producing the cross product of the two vector, then the result is vector quantity. The magnitude of the vector A cross B is therefore A cross B is equal to the mod A mod B sine theta AB. While the direction of the vector A cross B is described by the unit vector AN. So the direction of the unit vector defined by the unit vector of the cross product. The cross product angle, that is the theta, is equal to the 90 degree, that is orthogonal. Then A cross B is equal to the A into A mod of A into mod of B sine 90. So result will be the A mod of A mod of B. If theta A is equal to the theta angle is equal to the 0, that is the parallel, then A cross B is equal to the A mod of B sine 0 is equal to the 0. So value of this product is the 0. So we have to result here, that is the in the case of theta is equal to the 90 degree, there will be the cross product of A into mode of A, mode of B. In the case of theta 0 degree, so A result will be 0. Note that A cross B equal to 0 also if theta is equal to the 180 degree. So this is the conclusion of the cross product. The cross product is not a commutative. In the other words, A cross B is equal to the B cross A. It is not possible because two vector quantities are multiplied with the cross product and producing the vector quantity. So that's why it is not commutative. While evaluating the cross product of the two vectors, the order is important. So A cross B is not equal to the minus of bracket B cross A. The negative of the cross product is minus of A cross B equal to the A cross in the bracket minus B. The cross product is also not associative, that is A cross B cross C not equal to the A cross B cross C. But the cross product is the distributive in that A cross bracket B plus C, this is equal to the A cross B plus B A cross C. This is the distributive law. The triple product is not a new operation, as it is simply a combination of the dot and the cross product. Means a triple operation or triple product is the operation of or the combination of the dot and the cross product. For example, the triple product of the vector A, B, C is denoted by that A dot B cross C. So it can also write as A dot in the bracket B cross C. So it is the vector dot vector. B cross C is the vector quantity and A is also vector quantity. So two vector dot product is always possible. The scalar triple product, that is A dot B cross C is equal to the B dot C cross A, which is equal to the C dot A cross B. This is the cyclic method. Here we have the triple product concept and in the volume with the three vectors, that is A, B, C. So we have already discussed the triple product, that is it is the product of the vector quantity into vector quantity. So A dot B cross C is written in the determinant form like this, shown in the figure. So in the next section we have some solved questions. Two forces whose magnitudes are in the ratio of 3 to 5, 3:5, give a resultant of 35 Newton. If the angle of the inclination is 60 degree, calculate the magnitude of the each force. Two forces, these are the vector quantities, forces are the vector quantities, and these are in the ratio of 3:5. So explanation is given in the slide, that is the P is the force vector, that is the 3 times or 3x, and Q is the another force vector, that is the 5x, and R is the resultant of these two vectors, that is the 35 Newton, and the angle between two is the 120 degree. So we have to calculate the magnitude of the each force. Though R is equal to the square root of the P square plus R square plus 2PQ cos theta. So R is given 35, and the square root of this term is 7x. Or after solving that, we will calculate the value of x, and it will be become 5. So put the value of the 5 into equation number of P, that will be the force vector, that is 3 into 5, that is 15 Newton, and the second force vector is Q, that is 5x. So it will 5 into 5, that will Q is equal to the 25 Newton. So we have calculated that two forces in terms of the vector. Second solved problem. Walking of a man is an example of: while walking, a person presses the ground with his feet slightly slanted in the backward direction. The ground exerts upon him an equal and opposite reaction. Its horizontal component enables the person to move forward, while the vertical component balances this weight. These are the references of today's lecture. Now we have some multiple choice question related to the vector quantities. First, which of the following is not a vector quantity? First is velocity, second is displacement, C is speed, D is acceleration. Which of the following has the magnitude 1? Free vector, null vector, unit vector, position vector. A vector whose initial position is at origin is free vector, position vector, unit vector, none. Which of the following holds true for a vector quantity? It has only the magnitude, it has only direction. A vector has both direction and magnitude. A vector can never be negative. A scalar quantity has only magnitude and no direction. We have two options, true or false. Which of the following ID the correct symbol for denoting a given vector A? We have four options. Which of the given qualities is a vector? Which of the given quantity is a vector? We have four options: speed, time, weight, volume. Eighth question: Which of the following is not a vector quantity? Speed, density, force, velocity. Which of the below given is a vector quantity? 8 kilogram, 4 seconds, 6 Newton, 90 centimeter cube. Question number 10. Which of the following is a scalar quantity? 80 meter cube, 5 Newton, 7 meter per second towards east, 55 meter per second square. So today's lecture conclusion is that after watching this video, you will be able to learn the basic concept of vector arithmetic, vector analysis, scalar quantity, vector quantity, definition of the vector quantity and scalar quantity, and difference of the vector and scalar quantity. After that, we have discussed the cross product and dot product. You are able to solve the dot product and cross product related problems, and we have also discussed the properties of arithmetic operation of the vector as well as the cross product and dot product phenomena. After that, we have some multiple choice question related to this vector analysis. So thank you very much.